What's going on, guys? I just wanted to talk about the recent chapters of Hunter x Hunter. They've been extremely wonderful. Tagashi came up with his greatness these past couple of chapters. Now, I want to talk about the main components of the recent chapters. The thing that's happening with Fugetsu, Melody, Halkenburg, obviously, the Fourth Prince, and the Mafia. What might happen? There might be a war between the Mafia families and so on. Alright, the first key component that I want to talk about is Melody and Fugetsu and what happened in the recent chapters. Now, the first thing we see is that Fugetsu gets back to the upper floors after accidentally going to the lower floors. Mizai Storm helps her get to the upper floors. Now, I thought she was gonna die, but I was wrong in the sense that she actually that was really quick how she came up the upper floor, how she came up to the upper floors. And she basically gets escorted there, and we meet this guy that's from the independent judicial branch. He offers to help Melody and the prince as much as he can. Melody thinks that there might be a case where he's being controlled by a nin user, and because of his heart rate, it doesn't seem like it's normal. And she has trust issues, as you should in this warfare, in this succession contest. So then Melody's plan for chapter 383, Melody, Fugetsu, and Kacho's plan is revealed in chapter 383. What we end up finding out is that their plan was basically, in the banquet, Melody was going to use her nin ability to calm everyone's heart and to basically draw away attention from Kacho and Fugetsu, and Kini was gonna guide them to a safe boat so they could get out of the black well. They end up getting out of the black well, but not for long. We find out that you can't actually get out of the black well. There's no way you can actually get out of the black well, and Kacho basically ends up opening a door, telling Fugetsu to go in, and then Kacho ends up dying. And then we see that in Kacho's place, a nin beast took her place, and that he looks like her, and we don't know if he relatively acts like her to a certain degree. I'm sure he does, but I'm sure that Melody's gonna find out one way or another. It was a really dark chapter. What happened to Kini and how he basically wanted to find a place to die. He lost his daughter and his wife in an accident, so there's that. And he ended up killing himself, so the Hunter Association won't butt heads with the Kaken Kingdom. And then we move on, and later on we find out that basically the guy from the independent judicial branch that we met, the guy with glasses, we find out that he's questioning Melody, and he's basically giving her time to think. This is his own way of helping. He's giving her time to think. He's also questioning. He's also planning to question Fugetsu and Kacho, and this gives her a breather to think of their next plan and their next approach. Now, I'm guessing that Melody will most likely find out about what happened to Kacho. And with that being said, there might be more problems for Wobo's camp, in the sense that if Melody tells Kurapika that there's no way of surviving this succession contest, and that Kacho ended up dying, and so on. Now, for him, there's no way he's gonna end up there's no way he's gonna end up saving Wobo by leading him out of the Black Well. The only way he could now, his only choices are to fight and to make sure that Wobo ends up winning the succession contest. It's going to be interesting when the dilemma that occurred between Kachu Fugetsu and the succession contest is told to him by Melody. I'm guessing Melody's gonna forward this to him. Okay, so we also have Halkenburg. Now, what happened to Halkenburg is he flipped. He totally changed his personality. Because first we see that Halkenburg has been coming to the king's unit, and he's been telling his guards to pass along this notes, and basically we find out that he's in the past 4 days he's been trying to lower their guard, by repeating the action of coming along and then giving and passing down Mel and his letter to stop the succession contest. And then once he's trained the guards subconsciously, he ends up trying to, he ends up basically holding them to gunpoint and telling them that in getting access to Nasubi's unit. Once he goes inside Nasubi's unit, he asks his father to stop. He asks his father to stop the succession contest, and his father basically denies this, and Nasubi gets mad and just shoots him, and his father Halkenburg gets mad and shoots him, and Nasubi catches it with his hands, with his bare fingers, and Halkenburg and what happens is the bodyguard for I'm guessing Nasubi, Naji, tells Halkenburg that he and his guards won't be punished because this will be considered a secret training exercise. So Halkenburg finds out that they've anticipated this and they calculated this, so he tries to shoot himself, and there's this wonderful panel in which basically his Nenpi stops his shot with his bare fingers, which is weird, and which is an awesome panel. And what happens is he basically gets the lecture of his life about how Nasubi gives him the lecture of how he is basically the referee in this contest, and that his job is to make sure that this contest goes smoothly, and that if he really wants to change this monarchy state and he wants to transform into a more democratic nation, a democratic kingdom, he has to win the succession contest. There's no way around it. And basically Halkenburg accepts the situation he's in. Now with Nasubi, I don't think he's telling the truth. I don't think he's actually the referee or the seeker of this contest. He's more so, for me, he's more so of a... I think he's participating in this contest. I don't think he's telling them the full truth, and he's lying certain aspects of the contest for later on. He's probably waiting for there to be one more contender before he hops in. I truly do believe that, because why would Nasubi just hand over his kingdom After the succession contest is over, I think Nasubi is up to something. I really do think that. Anyway, we cut off to Halkenburg, and Halkenburg is basically going back to his unit, and we cut off to Shikaku, who is the first victim of the ninth Prince Halkenburg. The first prince tells Shikaku that Halkenburg has awakened, is going to take the succession contest seriously, and then he basically Halkenburg uses his Nen ability on Shikaku. Now, Halkenburg's ability basically works like this. The aura of his guards transform into an armor that surrounds Halkenburg that cannot be broken, and he uses that as a form of shield. And Halkenburg could turn his aura into a bow and arrow. The arrow itself can pierce through anything. I mean anything, any form of protection, whether it's a shield or anything. It could pierce through anything, which kind of sounds broken. And then we find out that once the arrow hits the enemy, he takes the will from the enemy. And then what that basically means is that one of his guards ends up going inside the enemy's body, taking possession of the enemy's body. So, and then later on in a different chapter, we find out that Semidor takes over the body of Shikaku, one of Halkenburg's guards. Halkenburg's theory of his power is basically, he has 4 theories here. The person possessed died, swapping places into Semidor's body. Shikaku swapped places into Semidor's body. They coexist in Shikaku's body, move somewhere else. So Halkenburg explains his hypothesis to his guards, and we find out later on by another guard that there are 12 parts to it. So we don't know so I'm guessing that there's more parts than the parts that we've seen. So Semidor goes to the front door of the 7th prince and shoots himself, which is interesting. I don't know why he chose the 7th prince. Not that much people. I really don't get it. Aside from, unless Halkenburg knows that the 7th prince is involved in the Mafia family, and he's just trying to eliminate the people that he could kind of consciously live with himself for killing, and he's trying to basically eliminate the people that are, I guess, rotten, or people that are you know, I don't know. I really don't know why he would go after the 7th prince, and this is just probably it. He's probably going after the worst of the bunch, the people that are involved with criminal organizations and whatnot. We don't know if he knows this. We really don't know why. That's the only reason I could think of why he's targeting the 7th prince. And then Semidor, what is it? Semidor's original body is tied up, and we see that Semidor wakes up, and Halkenburg is questioning him to see if that's his guard. We don't know if that's his guard. He's questioning him, but I'm guessing it is him. Okay, and Kurapika points out that there was an amount of energy seemingly exploding and then disappearing. And he also says that this often occurs with emitters. Does that mean Halkenburg's ability is an emitter, or he's talking about another event that we haven't seen? But most likely he's talking about Halkenburg. Basically we cut off to Kurapika, explaining Nen types can be determined by using the water divination, and that he needs to see everyone's Nen type in order to accommodate his training. Now the guards are like, the guards. Kurapika also tells the guards that you should never tell anyone your Nen type, because that's like playing rock paper scissors and your opponent knowing which one you're gonna choose. And the guards are suspicious, and they say they would rather learn it themselves, and that they don't want anyone else seeing their Nen ability if that's the case. And basically, Kurapika stomps his foot and just tells them, it's either my way or the highway, and my goal is not to take part in the succession contest and eliminate Prince and guards. And his job is to level the playing field and make it stagnant. Well, he does not know what the fourth prince is up to. The fourth prince, Kurapika needs to he just needs to go home, pack his bags, just leave. This is not the answer, because he's still taking this to he still thinks he's having this he's not really had this realization of what the succession contest really is going for, and he doesn't know all the parts that we know. But once he finds out, he needs to make a decision, and it's gonna be man, I really can't see him taking out the fourth prince by himself. I can't see that, because the fourth prince is becoming a monster, and I don't know if he can. Because Kurapika just needs to, pack his bags and just leave. He just needs to stop. I mean, this is getting out of hand. The fourth prince is getting out of hand. Are you kidding me? The fourth prince is not playing around. I mean, he's getting better and better. So let's go on to talk about the fourth prince. Basically, the fourth prince is still. The first time we see him, the fourth prince is still learning about Nen, and he's training with Theta, and he goes to that point where Theta ends up basically. He's at that point where he's learned Zetsu, which is wild. He's gone to that point really quick. He really is a genius, and Zetsu. Basically, so while he's learning Zetsu, his Nen beast disappears, and basically that's when Theta finds it to be the best time for her to kill him off, because she sees what he's capable of. This guy summoned another Nen beast. He summoned another Nen beast, and he hasn't mastered his Nen ability to the fullest. He doesn't even know what his Nen. He summoned a Nen beast, and it has 666 on its midsection. Yeah, this is game over for Kurapika. Theta, tries to execute him, and we also see that 5 minutes passed between the events, and that we hear Melody's music from the banquet, and we don't know how much that had an effect on what happened to Theta's plan. So Theta shoots him, and she thinks she killed him. The guards heard a gunshot, and they come in, and basically we find out that the fourth prince didn't die, and that the fourth prince vouched for her and told his guards that this was necessary. She told me not to let my guards, not to let basically to close my eyes and not to let anything distract me. This was her own way of distracting me. Later on, we find out that he knew. We kind of find out that he probably knows what she's doing, because he says, I love two-faced women. They're cute. he probably knows what she was planning to do, so most likely he knows what she's up to. And basically the Nen Beast threatens Theta by telling her, hey, if you end up lying to him again, you no longer be human. We don't know what that means. Nobody knows what that means. So she faints, and then she wakes up, and another guard takes over her training regimen for the fourth prince. And the fourth prince is at that point where he's realizing that training will only get you so far. You also need combat experience. So he's ready to throw hands, and that guard is basically dead. There's no way of going around it. He is dead. He's at that point where he's realizing that Nen, that in order to have mastery of your Nen ability, you have to have combat experience. Training will only do you so much. So yeah, he's dead. Kurapika as well, you have to go home. This is not the answer. Theta, also take a boat. Melody, you also need to take a boat. This is not the answer. This warfare is over. And then we cut off to the Phantom Troop. So the Phantom Troop, interesting enough, they meet the head boss assistant and second in charge of the Chai R family, and he basically explains to them the warfare, the rules that are associated with the Mafia families, and that if a Mafia member from one family kills another Mafia member from another family, the two Mafia families have to negotiate and talk. And in this instance, he's talking about loosening and how he's been killing off some of the members of the Chai R's family in the Jayu family. And basically we see, and so they end up calling the head of the Haley family, and she doesn't pick up. So that's also a sign of war between the mafias. And the Phantom Troop basically say, yo, we're gonna take out the head of the Haley family, which the mafia members start noticing and basically saying to themselves, they're dangerous. Even though they offered to kill the Haley family, we need to take care of them. So there might be some backstabbing while they're trying to take care of the Haley family boss. Now the Haley family boss, her Nen ability is the Tooth of Love. She's not going to be able to do that much in terms of combat when fighting against Phantom Troop. So I really don't see her doing anything when it comes to from a combat stance. Now she might have soldiers with her that are willing to do the combat for her. Soldiers that might have reached level 20 and that might have an ability that's more suited for combat. So yeah, there's that happening, and we also find out that the fourth prince doesn't really have a control over her, and that the fourth prince is he doesn't have a sense of control over her. So she's a wild card as much as the fourth prince is a wild card in this session contest, and there could be trouble for Mizai Storm and the Zodiacs on the lower floors. As far as the other points that we wanted to see, now beyond Netro, we're not going to see that. He has nothing to do with that. But what I'm interested is in the traitor of the Zodiacs. We still don't know who it is, and we're not going to find that out until the Dark Continent. Now the Succession contest could go several ways, and the way these plots intertwine with each other and meet, there's many possibilities of how the story's going to go, and I can't wait for the next couple of chapters. Ray Optics signing out.